afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, November 5th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Course in Miracles. That's something for all of us to understand. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Before something radically new is birthed, the old must loosen its grasp and die. With any massive changes in this life, there often arises this feeling of gripping on tightly to what we once knew was stable and true, or in other words, the past. This white-knuckled grasp onto the past only stems from a sensation of fear for embracing a new future, a better future, one that is truly free from fear, the new earth future. Fear always comes from an attachment to that which is not real. The mind thinks that it will not survive if it lets go and trusts in the future. The truth is that we are souls, and within those souls is the God. An infinite eternal being that will never die. Our souls cannot be threatened, harmed, or truly impacted by anything of this world. In this higher truth, we have nothing to fear. If we believe that these are the end times, we must also initiate the birth of something new. We cannot truly end an old, dilapidated society without a new system taking its place. Yet, we need to be fearless and true to what our hearts want to create. And it is the question that will come up more and more with each of us. What do we want this new experience in the new world, the new earth, to be? What do we want this new experience in the new world to be? Any downturn in the economy is simply the financial roller coaster gaining momentum for an ascending experience. The most enlightened way to respond to the shifts and the coming shifts ahead is to remain open-minded and be inspired by the new ideas that are created, for they will provide a sustainable, healthy life for our children's children's children. Think not about instant gratification. Think about how you can make the planet a better place for future generations. Think about your great-great-grandchildren. This is your opportunity to evolve spiritually and recycle the old vehicle to invent a new paradigm of environmental, social, and economic wholeness. Now I'm going to share 3 steps that we can take to change the world, create a positive shift in our energy, and manifest a more enlightened way of being in this world to assist in the earth. One of the most powerful gifts we can give this world is being of service to another without expecting anything in return. When we give freely to another, the universe gives back tenfold to us. We don't do it because of that. We do it because we want to do it, without expectations. It could be in the smile of a child, a financial gift, or 30 new clients for your business. Whatever gift that comes from your heart is going to have value. We are all deeply interconnected. When we choose to serve someone from generosity and loving kindness, we bring greater well-being not only to the person that we serve, but to all beings on this planet, including ourselves. Focusing exclusively only on our own lives is actually a form of scarcity thinking. We may have not helped out our fellow man because we believed we didn't have enough time, money, or knowledge to support the other. The truth is that it's the best feeling in the world to reach out and help someone in need instead of spending your time indulging, for instance, in the dull buzz of entertaining yourself in front of the TV. You have something precious and unique to offer your fellow human beings. It's called you. Take this moment to ask yourself how you may be of service this week to your family, friends, and larger community. Try something new. Perhaps you could give away something you're not using in your storage, yet someone else could use, or can share your knowledge on a particular subject that would bring a smile to their face. What ways can we lend a helping hand in someone's life? It's doing something extra special for one person today. And notice how it makes you feel, even if it's as simple as a few words of encouragement. It's time for us to put away any selfish, me-centered actions from the past and adopt the attitude of supporting someone who really could benefit from our help. It is only through bonding together and serving each other as a truly united community that we will be able to create an enlightened community and establish a permanent state of well-being on this entire planet. It is time for us to put away any selfish, me-centered actions from the past and adopt the attitude of supporting someone who really could benefit from our help. It is only through bonding together, serving each other as a truly united community, that we will be able to create an enlightened community and establish a permanent state of well-being on this planet. Because this is what New Earth is going to afford for all of us, helping each other. Now, the second concentration, sharing our divine creativity. The first one was practice being in heart-opening service to everyone. Just share your divine creativity. The essence of who we are is pure creativity. This is the energy that speeds life on this planet, births new ideas. Is that same energy that makes us feel inspired to live our best possible life. This creative energy is divine. It comes from the highest spiritual energy in this universe. It's the life force of life. It is creating new babies, new dreams, new blood cells, new love-making experiences, and new sunsets at the end of every day. If and when you quiet your chattering mind for a moment, you can feel it. The divine creative flow is right here in this moment. This moment is where we will find all the solutions to this internal shift that we need to move forward and manifest whatever we desire into our lives. Take time each day to quiet your mind in meditation and ask your higher self for guidance. Ask for the kind of emotional support and creative solutions you need. Empty your mind from reaching for the answers and just wait. When you receive some deep, inspiring guidance, write down all of the creative ideas you have and then see which one resonates the most with your heart. Third step is spread abundance consciousness. Spread abundance consciousness. What if our main job on this planet right now was to tap into our highest abundance consciousness and spread it as far as we could around this world? What would we do? What does abundance consciousness look like for us? The truth is that we live in an abundant universe where there is more than plenty for all people. When we think abundantly, we feel abundant and creative, and we create more abundance in our lives. Our energy field magnetizes more abundance, thus we create an example for others how to be. Abundance thinking is expansive by its very nature. The more we believe in abundance, the more we automatically manifest. It might look like new creative ideas and solutions, new opportunities, or a business that supports prosperity and well-being for all. The best creative solutions are only born out of abundance consciousness. These greater solutions are what will solve the challenges of our world that it is currently facing. It is only through thinking abundantly that we will break the scarcity spell that we have been fed to believe and uncover solutions that naturally create abundance for all living beings on this planet. So for this week, I invite you to explore a new way to approach your relationship with this world, one that will ensure positive prosperity in your future. It all begins with accepting the current life challenging situation we are all in as it is, and knowing that this challenge was placed there on purpose for us to overcome. And it was placed there by us to overcome. Remember, we are here to enlighten our lives and discover at the core of our human nature that we are a powerful manifesting being, each one of us, who can create miracles. What this means is to reveal the higher and deeper truth of who we really are. This will create an entirely new experience in this world for everyone. would like assistance with tapping into divine creative energy and shifting instantly into abundance thinking. Follow these 3 steps without expectations, without attachments, period, and see what transpires. We all seek in different ways freedom. Man is the only being on this earth that has freedom. Man is the only being on this earth that has freedom. A dog is born a dog. Will live like a dog. Will die like a dog. There is no freedom. A rose will remain a rose. There's no possibility of any transformation. You cannot become a lotus. There is no question of choice. There is no freedom at all. This is where man is totally different. This is the dignity of man, his specialness in existence, his uniqueness. That's why a lot of the aspects, a lot of the structure that Charles Darwin put out to society, to the public, is not all right, because he starts categorizing man with other animals. The basic difference he has not even taken note of. The basic difference is all animals are born with a program. They're born with a program. Only man is born without a program. Man is born as a, call it a tabula rasa. In other words, a clean slate. Nothing is written on it. We have everything that we need and that we want to write on it. It is going to be our creation. Man is not only free. I'd like to say that man is freedom. This is his essential core. That's his very soul. The moment we deny freedom to man, we have denied him his most precious treasure, his very kingdom. Then he is a beggar, and in a far uglier situation than other animals, because at least they have a certain program. Then man is simply lost. Once we understand this, once this is understood, that man is born as freedom, then all the dimensions to grow open up. Then it is up to you what to become, what not to become. It is going to be your own creation. Then this life becomes an adventure, not an unfoldment, but an adventure, an exploration, a discovery. And the truth is not already given to us. We have to create it. In a way, each moment we are creating ourselves. Each moment in the now we are creating ourselves. If we accept a theory of fate, it is also an act of deciding about our lives. By accepting fatalism, we have chosen the life of a slave. It is our choice. We have chosen to enter prison. We have chosen to be chained. But it is still our choice. We can come out of the prison. That's what Sannyas is all about. It's about accepting our freedom, of course. Accepting our freedom. And of course, people are afraid to be free because freedom is risky. One never knows what one is doing, where one is going, what the ultimate result of it all is going to be. If we are not ready-made, all the responsibility is ours. We cannot throw the responsibility on someone else's shoulders. Ultimately, we will be standing before existence totally responsible for ourselves. Whatever we are, whoever we are, we cannot shirk it. We cannot escape from it. This is the fear. Out of this fear, people have chosen all kinds of determinist attitudes. And it is a strange thing. The religious and the irreligious are agreed only on one point, that there is no freedom. Only every other point they disagree. On every other point they disagree. But on one point, their agreement is strange. The communists, and we know who they are, say they're atheists, irreligious. But they say that man is determined by the social, economic, and political situation. Man is not free. Man's consciousness is determined by outside forces. It is the same logic. We can call the outside force the economic structure. Hegel calls it history, with a capital H. Remember, and the religious people call it God. Again, the word is with a capital G. History, economics, politics, society, all outside forces. But they are all agreed upon one thing, that we are not free. Don't avoid the responsibility. Avoiding is not going to help. The sooner we accept it, the better. Because immediately we can start creating ourselves. The moment we create ourselves, great joy arises. And when we have completed ourselves the way we wanted it, there is immense contentment. Just as when a painter finishes his painting, the last touch, and a great contentment arises in his heart. A job well done brings great peace. One feels that one has participated with God. The only prayer is to be creative. Because it is only through creativity that we participate in God. There is no other way to participate. God is not to be thought about. We have to participate in some way. We cannot be observers. We can only be participants. Only then will we taste the mystery of it. Creating a painting is nothing. Creating a poem is nothing. Creating music is nothing compared to creating ourselves. Creating our consciousness, creating our very beings. But people on this planet have been afraid. And there are reasons to be afraid. The first is, it is risky. Because only we are responsible for ourselves. Secondly, the freedom can be misused because we can choose the wrong thing to be. Freedom means we can choose the right or the wrong, if there are such things. If we are only free to choose the right, it is not freedom. Then it will be like when Ford made his first cars. They were all black. And he would take his customers into the showroom and tell them, you can choose any color provided it's black. But what kind of freedom is this? Provided it is right, provided it follows the Ten Commandments, provided it is according to the Gita or the Quran, provided it is according to Buddha, Mahavira, Zarathustra, then it is not freedom at all. Freedom basically intrinsically means that we are capable of both, either choosing right or wrong. And the danger is, and hence the fear, that the wrong is always easier to do. The wrong is a downhill task, and the right is an uphill task. Going uphill is difficult, arduous, and the higher we go, the more arduous it becomes. But going downhill is very easy. You need not do anything. Gravitation does everything for you. You can just roll like a rock from the hilltop, and the rock will reach the very bottom. Nothing has to be done. But if you want to rise in consciousness, if you want to rise in this world of beauty, truth, bliss, then you are longing for the highest peaks possible, and that certainty is difficult. And secondly, the higher you reach, the more there is a danger of falling, because the path becomes narrow. And we are all surrounded on all sides by dark valleys. A single wrong step, and we will simply be gone into the abyss. We will disappear. It is more comfortable and convenient to walk on the plain ground, not to bother about the heights. Freedom gives us the opportunity either to fall below the animals or to rise above the angels. Freedom is a ladder. One side of the ladder reaches hell. The other side touches heaven. It is the same ladder. The choice is ours. The direction has to be chosen by each of us. To me, if you are not free, you cannot misuse your unfreedom. Unfreedom cannot be misused. The prisoner cannot misuse his situation. He is chained. He is not free to do anything. And that is the situation of all other animals except man. They are not free. They are born to be certain kinds of animals, and they will fulfill it. In fact, nature fulfills it. They are not required to do anything. There is no challenge in their life, so to speak. It is only man who has to face the challenge, the great challenge. And very few people have chosen to risk, to go to the heights, to discover their ultimate peaks. Only a few, but it should be all. Buddha, Christ, only very few. Betrayal, they can be counted on the fingers. Why hasn't the whole of humanity chosen to reach the same state of bliss as a Buddha? same state of love as a Christ. And remember, Buddha and Christ, these are energies of high levels of enlightenment. The same state of celebration is Krishna. Why? For the simple reason that it is dangerous even to aspire to those heights. It is better not to think about it. And the best way not to think about it is to accept that there is no freedom. We are already determined beforehand. There is a certain script handed over to us before our births, and all we have to do is to fulfill it. Only freedom can be misused. Slavery cannot be misused. That's why we see so much chaos in the world today. It has never been there before, for the simple reason that man was not so free. In America, people are enjoying the greatest freedom that has ever been enjoyed anywhere in this world. At any time in history, whenever there is freedom, chaos erupts. But that chaos is worth it, because only out of that chaos are stars born. I'm not giving you any discipline, because every discipline is a subtle kind of slavery. I'm not giving you any commandments, because any commandments given by anybody else coming from the outside are going to imprison you, to enslave you. I am showing everyone how to be free, and then leaving that to yourselves to do what you want to do with your freedom. If you want to fall below the animals, that's your decision. And you are perfectly allowed to do it, because it is your life. If you decide it that way, then it is your prerogative. But if you understand freedom and its value, you will not start falling. You will not go below the animals. You will start rising above the angels. Man is not an entity. He is a bridge between two entities, two eternities, the animal and God, the unconscious and the conscious. Grow in consciousness. Grow in freedom. Take each step out of your own choice. Create yourself and take the whole responsibility for it. The ordinary mind always throws the responsibility on somebody. It is always the other who is making you suffer. Your wife is making you suffer. Your husband is making you suffer. Your parents are making you suffer. Your children are making you suffer. Or the financial system of the society, capitalism, communism, fascism, the prevalent political ideology, the social structure, or fate, karma, God, you name it. People have millions of ways to shirk responsibility, but the moment you say somebody else, XYZ, is making you suffer, then you cannot do anything to change it. What can you do? When the society changes and communism comes and there is a classless world, then everybody will be happy. Right? Before that, it is not possible. How can you be happy in a society which is poor? And how can you be happy in a society which is dominated by what? Capitalists. How can you be happy with a society which is bureaucratic? How can you be happy with a society which does not allow you freedom? It doesn't matter what the political structure is. Excuses and excuses and excuses just to avoid one single insight. I am responsible for myself. Nobody else is responsible for me. It is absolutely and utterly my responsibility. Whatever I am my own creation. Once this insight settles, I am responsible for my life, for all my suffering, for my pain, for all that has happened to me and is happening to me. I have chosen it this way. These are the seeds that I sowed, and now I am reaping the crop. I am responsible. Once this insight becomes a natural understanding in all of us, then everything else is simple. Then life starts taking a new turn, starts moving into a new dimension. That dimension is conversion, revolution, mutation. Because once I know I am responsible, I also know that I can drop it any moment. I decide to. Nobody can prevent me from dropping it. Can anybody prevent you from dropping your misery, from transforming your misery into bliss? Nobody. Nobody, nobody. Even if you are in a jail, chained and imprisoned, nobody can imprison you. Your soul still remains free. Of course, you have a very limited situation, but even in that limited situation, you can sing a song. You can either cry tears of helplessness, or you can sing a song. Even with chains on your feet, you can dance. Then even the sound of the chains will have a melody to it. Now that nobody is responsible for your misery except you, if the misery is all your own doing, then what is left? Be grateful to everyone. Because everybody is creating a space for you to be transformed. Even those who think they are obstructing you, even those who think you think are enemies, your friends, your enemies, good people and bad people, favorable circumstances, unfavorable circumstances, all together they are creating the context in which we can be transformed and all become Buddhists, enlightened. Be grateful to all. To those who have helped, to those who have hindered, to those who have been indifferent, be grateful to all. Because all together, they are creating the context in which Buddhas are born, in which we all become Buddhas, which means an enlightened state. To be totally free of desire will make you dead. You will no longer be alive. That's what has been taught. Be desireless. But what can you do? You can go on cutting desires, and the more desires are cut, the more power your life becomes. If all desires are destroyed, then you have committed suicide, spiritual suicide. And no, desire is the energy of life. Desire is life. Then, what do I mean when I say be free of desire? The second is my meaning to be free, totally free, to have or not to have desire. Desire should not be an obsession. That is the meaning. We should be capable. For example, you see somebody's beautiful house, newly built, and the desire arises in you to have such a house. Now, are you free to have this desire or not? If you are free, you are desireless. If you say, I am not free, this desire persists. Even if I want to drop it, I cannot drop it. It haunts me. I see dreams of that house. I think about it. I'm afraid to go on that road because that house creates jealousy in me. That house creates disturbance in me. If you say I'm not capable of either having or not having the desire, then you are not in a healthy shape. Then desires are your master. You are a victim. And you will suffer much because there are millions of things going around. And if so many desires take possession of you, you'll be torn apart. That's how it is happening. Somebody has become the prime minister. Now you want to become the prime minister. Somebody has become very rich. Now you want to become very rich. Somebody has become a famous writer. Now you want to become a famous writer. Since somebody is something else. And somebody is something else. All around there are millions of people doing millions of things, billions of things. And from every nook and corner, a desire arises and jumps onto you and takes possession of you. And you are not capable of anything. Yes or no? You will go mad. That's how this whole of humanity is mad. All those desires are pulling you into in so many directions. You have become fragmentary because many desires have possessed parts of your being. And those desires are contradictory to you. Then it is not only that you are fragmentary, you become a contradiction. One part of you wants to become very rich. Another part of you wants to become a poet. And now this is difficult. It is very difficult to become rich and remain a poet. A poet cannot be that cruel. It will be very difficult for him to become rich. Money is not poetry. Money is blood. Money is exploitation. A poet worth the name cannot exploit. And a poet worth the name will have some vision of beauty. He cannot be so ugly himself as to deprive so many people just for his desire to hoard money. Now, you want to become a politician, and you also want to meditate, and you want to become a meditator, too. This is not possible. Politicians cannot be religious. They can pretend to be religious, but they cannot be religious. How can a politician be religious? Religion means non-ambitiousness, and politics is nothing but pure ambition. Religiousness means I am happy as I am. This is the real religion, not man-made. Religiousness means I am happy as I am. Politics means I will be happy only when I am at the top. I am not happy as I am. I have to run and rush, and I will destroy if it is needed. If by right means okay, if not, then by wrong means. But I have to be at the top. I have to prove myself. A politician naturally suffers from an inferiority complex. A religious man has no complex, inferiority or superiority. Politicians pretend to be religious because that pays in politics. To be religious means to be non-ambitious, to have no ambitions of being somewhere else, somebody else, to be here now. Now, if you bend these two ideas together, that you want to be a politician and you also want to be a meditator, you will be in difficulty. You will drive yourself crazy. If you're honest, you will go mad. If you're dishonest, then you will not go mad. You will become a hypocrite. That's what your politicians are. I'm not saying that all those who are in religion are not politicians. Out of 100, there are also 99 who are politicians. They are in a different kind of politics, the religious politics. They have their hierarchy, and the priests want to become the pope. Again, it is politics. Or the sinner, missing the target, wants to become the saint. Again, it is politics. Again, it is inferiority complex. Again, once you have started doing something holy, religious, saintly, you will carry around that ego of holier than thou. Then you will have a condemnation of others in your eyes. Then everybody is doomed, and only you are going to be saved. Then you can look at others with pity. These people are going to hell. This is again politics. A really religious man, an original religious man, knows no ego. He is not even humble. Remember, he is so egoless, he is not even humble. Humbleness is also a pretension of ego. The humble person is also trying to be humble and trying to prove that he is humble. Or may even have ideas deep inside his heart that he is the most humble man in the world. Again, that kind of humble is the ego. Many desires will take possession of any of us, and many will be contradictory. And we will be pulled apart. And we will start falling into pieces. We will lose integrity. You will no longer be an individual. And what is desireless? Now, these are the two things we know desirelessness. Then you have cut your life completely. Then everything has to be cut. Then you become a Jaina monk. Just an empty shell. Utterly discontented with everything. With yourself. Uncreated. No celebration. No flowers ever bloom. Or you know desirefulness. Then you become torn apart. Both are ugly states. The right thing to do is to be totally free from desire that you can choose. that you are always able to choose to have or not to have, then you are really free. And then you will have both the creativity, the celebration, the joy of desires, and the silence, and the peace, and the calmness, and the desirelessness. I'll join in meditation and I'll return to close us out. take an easy, slow breath in into the nose, and an easy, slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. We will live for eternity. I'm sure these bodies that we're in and mind will die someday. Yet, we will go on and on and on. Once we know in our hearts that we have an infinite amount of time ahead of us, we relax and step into an expansive, timeless, multi-dimensional spiritual experience. Every little occurrence becomes another opportunity for spiritual growth and enlightenment. Act as if you are living an ever-youthful, energetic, super-alive body-mind that will live far beyond 1,000 years. Have conversations with people from this place, knowing you will live forever. Imagine the wisdom, relationships, and life experiences you will have during this time. Feel, experience, and know you will live in an ideal anti-aging state of being. Explore, imagine, and rediscover who you are. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. You'll return here Sunday, November 6, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And be good to yourself.